Myself Ingreji Nirzari. I am from Division C and my roll number is 265. Today I am going to present the concept of production function. Production implies creation or addition of value. According to Professor Nicholson, production is the creation or addition of those economic utilities which in general are the result of labor, purchases exchange value and are appropriated. In this sense, production can be defined as creation of values. Such value may exist in the form of good or in the form of direct services. Thus, production is an activity that increases consumer usability of goods and services. Production function. A production function expresses a relationship between input and output under condition of given technology. That is, a production function exhibits a purely technical relationship which connects the factor of input and output. Thus, relationship between input and output is known as production function. Here is the function of production. Q is equal to function of x1, x2, x3, where Q is equal to amount of output, x1 is equal to amount of land, x2 is equal to amount of labor, x3 is equal to amount of capital. The above equation shows that quantity of output depends upon the quantity of labor used. Assumption of production function. Assumption about the production function is state of technology remains the same. If there is a change in a technology, it would result in an alteration of the input-output relationship depicted by the production function. It is assumed that firm utilize their input at maximum level of efficiency. Besides this, following 2 points must be noted. Production function, like demand function, is to be considered with reference to a particular period of time. Production function of a firm is determined by the state of technology. Now, short run and long run production function. Short run production function is that wherein the quantities of some output, say for land and capital, is varied. This kind of production function is known as a short run production function. The short-run production function in the case of two inputs, say labor and capital, with the capital as fixed and labor as variable, can be expressed as Q is equal to function of L and C, where Q is equal to quantity of output, L is equal to labor and C is equal to capital. The short-run production function lies within the subject matter of law of diminishing return, which is known as law of variable proportion, about which we shall discuss later on. In the long-run production function, all the inputs are variable. Production can be increased or decreased by changing one or more of the inputs. Production function for long run can be expressed as Q is equal to function of LC L1, where Q is equal to quantity of output, L is equal to labor, C is equal to capital, L1 is equal to land. The study of long-run production function forms the subject matter of law of return to scale, which we will discuss later. Now, law of variable proportion. Law of variable proportion bears a relationship with the production function and is known as non-proportional output. The law expresses a functional relationship between a change in a variable factor and a change in output. There are three phases of this law: increasing return to scale, constant return of scale, decreasing return of scale. Assumptions about this law. The state of technology remains the same. There is at least one factor which should be held constant. All these unit or dosage of variable factors are identical or homogeneous. Factors combination is flexible. Here is the tabular presentation of the law, where units are decreases, total production first increase, then remains stable, and at the last it decreases. Then it is average production. Average production is calculated by total production divided by labor of unit, and at the last this is marginal production. Marginal production means addition of one unit gives what amount of extra profit. This is graphical presentation of this law. Here it is the point of inflection. The point of inflection is that when the curve of the graph is changed from convex to concave. Conclusion about the law of variable proportion. When the marginal products goes on increasing, the total product increase at an increasing rate. When the marginal product is zero, the total product is maximum. When the marginal product becomes negative, the total product starts declining. The average product rises as long as the marginal product lies above it. The marginal product starts declining when the marginal product becomes less than the average product, and so the marginal product curve cuts the average product curve at its maximum point. Now the three phases of return to scale: increasing return to scale, constant return to scale, and diminishing return to scale. First, increasing return to scale. When the output increases in a greater proportion than increase in the input, it is known as increasing return to scale. Constant return to scale. When output increases in the same proportion as the increase in the input, it is known as constant return to scale. Third, diminishing return to scale. When output increases in a smaller proportion than increase in all the input, it is known as diminishing return to scale. Internal and external economies. Economies can be divided into two parts: internal economy and external economy. Internal economy is that which arises within the firm itself as the result of expansion of size or not shared by other firms operating in that industry. External economy is that which become available to all the firms in an industry because of growth of the industry as a whole. Now, internal economies. There are five types of internal economies: technical economy, managerial economies, marketing economies, financial economies, risk-bearing economies. Uh, there are uh, there are three types of external economies: economies of concentration, economies of information, economies of disintegration. Thank you.